Hey guys, what's up? It's Matt here, and today I'm going to show you a few things that will hopefully help you make some smoother and more controlled landings in Flight Simulator X. We begin here with the PMDG 737-800 in GX, and I start my approach at about 8 miles out from the airport, 2,400 feet and 210 knots. At this point, I only have my flaps set to about 10 degrees as I'm trying to finish lining up with the runway. Usually you're going to want to be done lining up with the runway by the time you're 9 to 10 miles out. But as you see here, I'm lined up on 36 left at Tampa, and the winds are calm, so it should be a pretty straightforward approach. Once you're about 7 miles out, you're going to want to lower your flaps to about 15 degrees and try and keep a constant speed of about 180 knots. Most people will actually try and tell me that you want a higher approach than what I'm showing here, but I like to have a low approach because I find it much easier to control your descent rate and your speed upon the approach to the runway. Now, once you're about 5 to 6 miles out from the runway, you're going to want to lower your landing gear. Once you lower your landing gear, your aircraft will have increased drag and therefore it will fly slower. This is why you're going to want to lower your flaps as well to about 25 degrees when flying with landing gear deployed. Once the landing gear is locked, I lower my flaps to 25 degrees and try and keep a speed of about 165 to 170 knots for the rest of the approach. Here I am about 2.5 miles out from the runway, and I'm trying to keep lined up while maintaining my approach speed of about 165 knots. At this speed you should be able to fly with zero attitude, meaning you're level with the ground, and still have a healthy descent rate upon the approach. As I approach the runway, I'm focused mainly on my airspeed and my alignment with the center line. Airspeed is probably the most important part of landing an aircraft because you must have the correct speed in order to flare correctly. For most people, flaring is the most difficult part of landing an aircraft, but I'll show you that it's not as difficult as it seems. Flaring is pretty much a controlled stall of the aircraft upon the ground. Now, in order to do this, you must have the correct speed in order to raise your nose but not gain any altitude upon landing. Now, this may seem difficult, but if you have the correct speed, which is about 145 knots for this PMDG 737 NGX, then you will be able to raise the nose and slow the descent rate enough to make a smooth landing. Now, as I finish rolling out here, I will show you again how I did this flare on this approach. As you can see, I'm lined up with the center line, and as I'm above the runway, I'm going to cut my throttle to idle, allowing me to slow down, raise the nose, and gently kiss the ground. As soon as I touch down, my spoilers go up, allowing me to keep the aircraft on the ground. Then my nose wheel touches and my landing is complete. Here again, I'm above the runway. I'm going to cut my throttle to idle, raise the nose, flare the aircraft, touch the ground, and roll out. Here's one more perspective of me flaring the aircraft to make a smooth landing. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to let me know, and I will do the best I can to help you out. Thank you so much for watching my video, and good luck on all your landings.